Hey everyone! Today we're going to be talking about diversity, skin tones, and hair textures in The Sims 4. I know I'm a little late with this video, and many other Simmers have touched upon the subject already. Plus, Sim Guru Lindsay put out a response on Wednesday, but I feel like I have something to add to this conversation. Much of the current conversation is about skin tones, and that is definitely the biggest issue that needs to be addressed and corrected. I know they've promised us an update where they'll fix the current swatches and add more, but in my opinion, that doesn't solve the issue. Having swatches is what hinders Create a Sim. You cannot make the most diverse Sims with precise skin tones because of the swatches. Even after they add more, there will still be players who will have to compromise when trying to create themselves, just like players currently. We have this issue with the eye and hair swatches too. Swatches are not a good way to go at all. We need a skin tone slider that includes undertones, just like in The Sims 3. That will allow players to have complete control when choosing skin tones. This game is about recreating and playing with life. There has been many advertisements about recreating yourself in-game. However, it's truly not possible for some players. The skin tones, hair, and eye colors have been frustrating the majority of players for a very long time. How can you advertise this game as one where you can recreate anything or anyone when you just can't do that? It's frankly, in my opinion, false advertising. Everyone has been talking about how you can draw a masterpiece on a dog or cat, but we don't have a skin slider for The Sims, and that's sad. I just don't see why they could do it for the pets, but not for The Sims. It seems like a huge undertaking to add the skin slider because I feel like they would have to redo all of Create a Sim because it's probably like how it's coded or whatever. But they should do it. It just feels unjust considering this game is for the people who want to see themselves in the game. And especially nowadays, it feels completely wrong with the social climate happening around the world, but particularly in America, where the Sims office is based out of. It's also hard to ignore the fact that while in-game, there's a lack of diversity, but also behind the scenes, there's a lack of diversity. When The Sims 4 launched in 2014, there was only one BIPOC, Black, Indigenous person of color on the dev team. I'm sure as years have progressed, there's been various other people, but it's really hard to find any information on the devs. They don't have a page or anything to show off who is behind the game development, and honestly, all we see in the live streams are white people. Another thing people should be outraged about is the hair. Literally all of the afro textured or kinky hair, and even curly ones, are ones that you have to purchase to use. Other than like a few of the ones that came with the base game, but most of those honestly are the crappiest hairstyles in the game. They look like helmets, they don't look good, they don't look natural. They're trash, they're just trash. I get that EA wants to suck us dry and take all of our money, but this game is about recreating life. Like, that's messed up, dudes. We have to literally pay to be able to create diverse Sims, to create good-looking black Sims. I understand that textured and curly hairs are harder to create for the game, particularly at the beginning of The Sims 4, but this isn't the beginning of it. In fact, sometimes it feels like the game is coming to a close with all these announcements about Sims 5 and stuff, and given the usual timelines with new releases in the franchise, it feels like near the end game of Sims 4. And last but not least, we've all seen it. Our favorite pre-made Sims have been progressively whitewashed over the years. I think this really sums up Sims 4 as a whole, to be honest. It's very whitewashed. It lacks diversity. It lacks kinky hair textures or curly hair options in the base game. It lacks the appropriate skin tones or undertones for all skin colors, but particularly the darker ones. It lacks basic cast features like various hair colors or eye colors. To get short with you, The Sims 4 is not diverse. The game needs to do better. The takeaway? We always hear about how The Sims is the most inclusive game ever. but it's simply not true. It is very limiting with how the Sims can look and how diverse our Sim communities can really be. If you want more diversity when you purchase the base game, you'll need to spend more money out of your pocket for more diverse hairstyles. Want better skin tones? Well, rely on your fellow Simmers because the devs don't got you covered. Better hair tones? Custom content. Better eye colors? Custom content. The Sims 4 is not the most inclusive game ever. I don't think we should rely on custom content to be able to represent yourselves or others. I believe it's time where players make it known to the gurus that we've had enough. We need a skin slider. We need more hair colors and eye colors, or better yet, a slider for hair and eyes too. We need free updates that include diverse hairstyles and textures. We're frustrated with the 18 hair colors. We want more. We're tired from the 18 eye colors. We want more. We're angry about the gray looking, ashy, not realistic, not diverse skin tones. That frankly, who thinks that looks good at all? We deserve more. We're sick of spending money to be able to include diversity. In all honesty, it feels really icky to me. The fact that to be able to make a realistic black or brown sim, I have to purchase packs for realistic hair textures and then rely on custom content from other players for a realistic and not ashy or weirdly colored skin tone. If you want to advertise about recreating yourself and others and being able to play with life, then actually make it possible. All in all, I find it frustrating that for years we've had a community complaining about the lack of diversity, the lack of darker skin tones, the lack of good-looking skin tones, and curlier textured hair, and there hasn't been a single peep from the devs. Then a few bigger white YouTubers make 6-minute videos talking about the issues. The devs almost immediately respond. There's been a few petitions over the last few months where more than 86,000 players have signed it, asking for a color wheel and more skin tones. The community has had numerous conversations about the lack of diversity over the years, but it feels like none of it matters. It feels like the community doesn't matter, especially when 2 or 3 big YouTubers get a response a day or 2 after their videos are published. It took too many white people and their top white game changers to get a reaction from the gurus. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad those YouTubers are using their platform to talk about the diversity issue, but it doesn't feel right to me. It's been clear since 2014 and again in 2016 when they originally updated the skin tones that there was an issue in The Sims 4 with diversity. It's clear that as a whole, the community feels angry about it. What isn't clear is if the devs actually listen to us. Shouldn't it be a part of their job to look into what the community is saying and wanting? Shouldn't they have hired someone to do that? Isn't there a community outreach person? Someone that manages the communication between the community and the devs? It's 2020. The Sims need to do more for diversity than what they're doing.